Hey guys, Synthetic here, and as you can see, we're back in AOR, this time for the 4th round in Bahrain. And unfortunately, for this round I didn't have too much time to practice. I only had the Sunday, and yeah, it wasn't really enough to get really fast over one lap, but I knew my pace in the race would be better, since I chose a setup which would work quite well in the race as well. I think I used two 10 wings with 10 ballast. It was a setup which doesn't give me too much oversteer at the end of the stints, because the strategy around here is one stop, starting on super softs and finish the race on mediums. So yeah, it was quite important to reduce tire wear again, just like in the first 3 rounds. And here you can see my fastest lap in qualifying. To be honest, I wasn't really happy with the lap. I didn't push as much as I could, and I lost a lot of time, I think at least 2 or 3 tenths. And yeah, quite unfortunate, but I hope that I can train a little bit more for the next races. And yeah, now to the last corner, managed to hook it quite solid, and to the line we managed to do 27.9, but unfortunately it was just enough to give us P9, which was not the place I wanted to start in. But yeah, not to the race, 5 red lights, and yeah, lights out. We managed to get quite a solid launch of the start, and my plan was to go to the left because I knew everyone would try to be on the right. And yeah, I was very patient because it's very easy to get damage or to spin or have any kind of contact, and I really wanted to avoid that. And here you can see I went a little bit for a dive, but it wasn't really a dive. Everyone just broke really early, and I was a little bit surprised of that. And after that I was again really cautious. Here you can see Nardi was able to go around my outside, which was quite a clever move, and I gave him the space because there was no point in trying any kind of aggressive move here. It was just about surviving and saving the tires as well. And yeah, quite an eventful first lap. Here you can see Nardi went for the dive bomb, couldn't pull it off completely, and they went side by side through this complex of corners, which was really scary. It's very dangerous to drive that close behind each other, because one little mistake and the front wing is destroyed. And yeah, first lap we managed to keep our position, which was very important for me because I knew I could attack at the later stages of the race. And now we are in lap 3. You can see fights all over the place. I think the McLaren of Alvaro went wide, and I was able to get his position, and I left him a little bit of space. And yeah, again I looked for the inside, but I didn't want to overtake. I just want to show that I'm there, put a little bit of pressure. And again, in this group a lap later, I think there was some kind of contact, as you will see in a second. I think Chicken and who else was it? I think it was Cars had an accident, but I'm not quite sure about that. And it put me off a little bit, so yeah, I went side by side with Beagle but couldn't pull it off at this point. And yeah, it was basically all just a huge fight, and I tried to survive and make my moves as smart as I possibly can, because one wrong move would cost you the race, and I really wanted to avoid that, because in the championship every point is important for me, And here you can see we managed to get quite a solid run out of the last corner, and we were side by side with Deagle and Krale ahead. And my plan was to brake as late as I possibly can in the first turn to get both of them, but unfortunately I wasn't quite able to pull it off. Deagle managed to get past both of us, and Krale was now on my inside, so yeah, I couldn't really get past at this point. I tried to look for a cutback, but there was no real space. And yeah, suddenly I saw here, I think he went a little bit wide, so it gave me the opportunity to go up on his inside. He looked for a switchback, he's now on my outside, and I tried to give him the space, and I managed to get to keep the position. But here you can see there was a little bit of contact. I don't know if he hit my back or anything, but it felt quite strange, and yeah, he was able to catch me down the straight, so I went defensive. And yeah, at the end it was P6 on that lap, which I was quite happy about. Now here in lap 9 I saw something quite interesting. Deagle fought with, I think, Krale it was, and yeah, they lost quite a lot of time, and I managed to get to catch both of them. And here you can see again both side by side through this complex, and I think Krale went off the track, and I saw it and tried to do the same move Nardi did to me earlier, so hold it around the outside, get better traction, and yeah, move up another spot into P5. And yeah, so far it was quite a solid run. Now in lap 10 we were going to the pits, which was a little bit too late, unfortunately, because here you can see we lost 3 positions and we had to do all over again, which was a little bit frustrating, but I know I could do it. The pace was definitely there, and here again we managed to get quite a solid run. And again, my plan was to brake as late as possible. I think Deagle, here you can see Deagle went defensive, and I just broke really late, and yeah, somehow I managed to hold it around the outside and move up another spot. But then something really strange happened. Here you can see I think Alonso's run was a little bit compromised, and I went on his inside. There was a gap forming, and I tried to go up on his inside, and I know it doesn't look really aggressive or dangerous on my point of view, but later I found out that Alonso basically got hit off the track, and I was quite surprised because on my screen you saw that there wasn't that much contact at all. So yeah, really frustrating. And here you could see Alex left me through, which was very kind of him, and I tried to help him as well, because here you can see Ollie was ahead and he was on softs, and I knew the softs wouldn't really make it till the end. It was possible to finish the race on them, but they would be very worn, and so I was able to catch him quite rapidly. With every lap it was basically getting less and less, and so lap 24 I was in the DRS, but I think the slipstream wasn't working at this point of the race, so I had to find a way past without overtaking on the straights. So yeah, I had to find a space somewhere on the track where I was a little bit faster, where I could use my mediums to good effect. And here you can see there's basically no way past. I was not close enough for a dive, and in this complex of left-handers, there's no point in overtaking as well, because it was result in a crash or anything like that. So I had to wait a little bit later, but here I found out my mediums work really well. I managed to stay very, very close, and luckily I was able to brake quite late and get a lot of traction out of the corner, and I managed to get past. But you can see Ollie basically broke, and it was because he wanted to get the DRS and slipstream to get back past me, and I knew that at the point. So what I was doing is I went really defensive, tried to keep my position at any cost, without doing anything too risky. And here you can see again I was really defending the inside, because I needed the position, since the guys behind me started to close me, because I lost quite a lot of time behind Ollie. And yeah, that was basically the race. We managed to get P3 at the end behind Nardi, and I'll leave you guys with the last lap of the race. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys next race. Goodbye.
They will return the day when they are needed. Our gaze is shifted upwards to the sky.